Okay, so if you've been anywhere near a school or TikTok or, well, basically the internet lately, you've probably heard it, that weird, chaotic chant,
6.
7. It feels like it's absolutely everywhere, and it's leaving parents and teachers completely stumped. So, is it some kind of code? A secret handshake? Let's get into it. We're going to break down what might be the ultimate Gen Alpha brain rot meme.
Right, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's just two numbers, a number combination that has somehow, almost overnight, exploded into this global phenomenon, leaving a whole lot of us scratching our heads. So what on earth is actually going on here? And look, this isn't just some harmless noise online. The confusion is having very real-world effects. This teacher's post on X, it just perfectly captures the frustration. Can you imagine trying to teach a class while students are just randomly yelling numbers at each other? It's becoming a genuine classroom problem, and a lot of educators are just totally lost. And it's not just the teachers, Parents are equally in the dark. You see comments like this one all over social media, and it just perfectly highlights this huge generational gap. To anyone over, say, 20, it's just nonsensical. But that's the key here. For Gen Alpha, the nonsense is the entire point.
So what we're really looking at is a cultural mystery. It works just like a massive inside joke that literally millions of people are in on. And to understand it, we've got to rewind. We have to go all the way back to the beginning, to its surprisingly gritty origins.
So, where did this whole thing come from? You might guess it started on some playground or in a random TikTok video. But the real story actually begins on the streets of Philadelphia, with the sound of drill rap.
So, picture this. It's late 2024. A Philly artist named Skrilla drops this unofficial track, Doot Doot 6-7. It's raw, it's intense, and buried deep in those lyrics is the line that would spark this massive global firestorm. But back then, it meant something completely different.
See, the original lyric had this really clever double meaning. On the surface, 6-7 was just a shout-out to 67th Street in Philly. But underneath that, it was also a nod to old police scanner codes for armed robbery. This was a super specific, street-smart reference with deep local context that, as you'll see, was about to get completely lost in translation.
And here is where our story takes a massive, unexpected plot twist. The internet is a weird, weird place. And the gritty meaning behind a Philly drill track was about to be totally stripped of its context and reborn in the world of professional basketball.
So as the song started to bubble up online, nobody really cared about the clever wordplay or the street culture behind it. The original context was almost immediately erased, which, is classic internet behavior. The sound itself was catchy, but it needed a new, much simpler hook to really go viral.
And they found that hook in basketball. TikTok editors started slicing up the audio and just slapping it over highlight reels of NBA players, dunking, dribbling, making these incredible plays. The high energy of the song just worked. But why this song specifically?
Well, the answer is almost ridiculously simple. The meme latched onto the Charlotte Hornets star player, LaMelo Ball. And why him? Because he is exactly 6 feet 7 inches tall. 6'7". That's it. That's the whole reason. A complete coincidence in his height totally and completely changed the meme's path forever.
So from that one totally random connection, 6-7 just exploded. It left the niche corners of drill rap and basketball TikTok and began a complete and total takeover of online culture, spreading way faster than anyone could have possibly predicted.
And this takeover was just unbelievably fast. After the LaMelo Ball edits blew up in December 2024, the meme hit a whole new level just 2 months later, in February 2025. That's when a high school basketball player named Taylon Kenny ranked a Starbucks drink 6-7 out of 10. That clip went mega viral. By March, even Shaq was posting videos asking what it all meant, which basically cemented its place in the mainstream.
The scale of this is just wild to think about. You're talking over 500 million views on TikTok just for the basketball edits alone. But the stat that's really telling is that last one. It's become such a disruption in classrooms that it has actually been banned in over 20 school districts. This thing has clearly moved way beyond just being a simple online trend. And from there, 6-7 pretty much broke containment from the internet entirely. It started popping up absolutely everywhere. It was referenced on South Park, NFL players started using it in their touchdown dances, it was co-opted by KFC for a marketing campaign, and it was even turned into an emote in the huge mobile game Clash Royale. It's basically part of our shared cultural wallpaper now.
Okay, so we know where it came from, and we know how it spread, but that still leaves the biggest question unanswered. Why?
Why did this one specific, kind of dumb phrase become one of the biggest memes on the entire planet? Well, to understand that, we need to talk about a concept called brain rot.
All right, so this brings us to this key internet term, brain rot. It's basically a word for content that is so absurd, so random, and so abstract that it almost feels like it's literally melting your brain. You know, think of the most nonsensical, low-quality, but somehow addictive videos you've ever scrolled past. That's brain rot, and 6-7 is a perfect, grade A example of it.
And this quote, man, it just nails it. When you actually ask kids what 6-7 means, a lot of the time, they'll just tell you it means nothing. And they're right. The power of this meme comes directly from its absolute, unapologetic lack of any real meaning. So why is being meaningless so powerful? Well, it turns out there's kind of a secret formula here. First off, it's a totally harmless form of rebellion. It's like a secret language designed to confuse adults. Second, it's the ultimate in-joke. It instantly creates the sense of a shared community for those who get it. It's also a form of chaotic escape, just pure nonsense in a world that is constantly bombarding us with information. But its main social function really is simple. It confuses adults, and that unites kids.
So here's the big takeaway, the thing you really have to understand. We've all been trying to find some hidden definition, but the whole point is that there isn't one. The meme is just a container for chaos. Its meaning is its meaninglessness. It's a joke where the punchline is that there is no punchline.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question. Is this all just some fleeting, meaningless fun? Or, in an age of constant information overload, is this kind of shared absurdity actually becoming a new, legitimate way to communicate and build an identity for a generation that's growing up entirely online? Now that's something to think about.